Hi Dad! I thought I'd just take you a little bit of video. I've just been for an appointment in at Norwich and met up with Jane, and I like coming here for fruit and vegetables. We don't get that chance very often. We get some awesome stuff. It's the marketplace in Norwich. There's some little man dancing about with these. Look at this, they've got some smashing looking stuff. Fridge pineapple. Is that pineapple tomatoes? Look at the cherries. The cherries are amazing. And the mushrooms. They always have some awesome stuff.
You won't catch me though, me. Not a fucking chance. Not a chance.
Get around,
I need to be going looking.
Too good.
Do you see me sitting on the beach and be like scouting for stones?
It smells so good. It's not like supermarket stuff. This is a special place to come. Tell me about your pineapple tomatoes then, because I'm going to have some.
So these are all the French Brittany tomatoes.
Right.
Really, really lovely. Nice and sweet. I just want to cut them up with some sea salt. Just want two. Is that enough?
Yeah, I'll have a couple of
Do you
them.
want to try any of the Ramondi ones as well? The red ones, they're lovely.
Yeah, please. I'll have one of them.
Yeah. Just the one.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright then. Do one like that.
And I'll have some of your ones at the end because I could eat tomatoes like sweeties.
Yes.
They're better than sweeties, these ones. I'll have a couple of rows of these. There is nothing quite like the smell of the stock. It's like, look at them. They're the proper big ones. They're not that supermarket junk.
I've done Rita, Joan and Ollie.
I always end up spending a fortune here. And Carrie and I and my dad, and I bought them something nice for Father's Day, and they're going away. So my dad absolutely adores your Medjool dates. So I'm just a bit, I'll put that one there because I've touched it. That's fine because I'm going to pay for it anyway. So I'll have some dates as well. Some for me, some from my best friend. I don't care. I can't tell you what this smells like. I mean, he's just proper fruit. You don't. Let's just give it to you. That's bonkers. This isn't that like that. May I have for the peaches as well, please? That's just reminded me of when I was little. When you used to go into the fruit merchants, there was a place called Glasses. They were the green. It takes me back to when I was about 6.
Yeah.
I've got no childhood memories prior to being about 18 until the last week, and all of a sudden I'm getting all these flashbacks. It's really weird, yeah. So I was about 6. My brother would have been about 2 and in the buggy. And we used to go into the fruit shop. It was all sawdust over the floor. And there was 2 elderly gentlemen, and they were both called Mr. Glass because they were brothers. And they always used to give us like a little handful each of seedless grapes. Yeah, it is cute, but I genuinely don't remember any of that until just now. Right, so this is a funny one because I have very few memories of childhood, and all of a sudden I'm starting to remember things because I've got barely any memories from pre-18 at all. So I've got about a 30-year gap. And just the last week or so, I'm remembering lots of things. And being at the market today triggered one of them. When we were little, my grandparents used to have a shop. It was a DIY shop, and it was opposite the police station. And they used to live in the flat above the shop. And upstairs there, they had a garden. It was all paving slabs, and they had like a summer house at the back of the garden. I just remember this glass front. It was pretty much a shed, I guess, but glass fronted summer house. But it used to rotate, so they could actually turn it round. But they also had a greenhouse. And I remember being little and going in the greenhouse, and there was a great big, to me it was big anyway, I'd only been little, I must have only been about 5 or 6. There was a great big bin that used to be full of water, because my grandmother used to grow tomato plants in there. And it must have been rainwater, I presume, that came off the roof and into this great big grey tank. And I remember skiddling about in the tank playing with the water, and there'd been plant pots and sort of planting area. And I remember the tomatoes, I vividly remember the tomatoes. And it's the smell. From when you pull the stalk off the top of the tomatoes, there's just nothing quite like fresh tomatoes. But one thing that we used to do, I know my grandparents used to do it, and then I'm sure my mum and dad did it as well, and it's probably a Scottish thing, because I just told my husband, he's like, that's horrid, I don't get that. And what we used to do was, there was two types of bread in Scotland. You got plain bread and pan bread. Now, plain bread is a Scottish loaf that's only really baked in Glasgow, and it's baked in wooden moulds, and it's dark brown, sometimes almost black with the crust on the top, and the bottom it's a very dense bread. You used to be able to get it in the supermarket down here when I first moved down here, like back in 2002. I haven't seen it in years in England, not in years and years and years, but we used to keep it in Asda, Norwich. And kids didn't typically like it because that black crust was both hard and quite bitter. Mum used to love it. Dad used to hate it. My dad used to buy pan loaf, or what my mum and my gran used to call plastic bread. And plastic bread was just sandwich loaf that came in like this. Whereas the plain bread came in a paper packet. A paper red and white Mother's Pride. It was usually called Mother's Pride. And you still get it up there. It's in every supermarket. I usually bring it back from Scotland. So my dad always had, we used to love this stuff, it was called pan loaf to us. We hardly ever had it, and then when we did, we all used to sort of fight for it. Dad's got a pan loaf, Dad's got a pan loaf. And whatever we used to have in a pan loaf was one of two things generally. We used to have banana sandwiches. Banana sandwiches are great. Banana sandwiches are literally a sliced banana with a tiny sprinkle of sugar on it, and then another bit of bread and butter on the top. I still love banana sandwiches even now. But I've forgotten about tomato sandwiches. Till I saw these tomatoes, especially the big ones this afternoon, but there's something really special about the little ones. Then what they do was quite literally, you had to eat them when they were fresh, because they were pretty rank when they went mushy. And if you got them in your lunchbox when you went to school, they were blooming horrible. Because everything just went to mush. So you basically, it was bread and butter and salt and pepper. And my dad would have mayonnaise. Mum hated mayonnaise, so we never got mayonnaise, or not very often, because Mum would only ever put salt and pepper in. So you quite literally, I can't think that I've had one of these in 30 years. Can't have. I really don't. I certainly haven't made one the whole time I've been down here. I don't even think I've had one in 40 years. I probably haven't had one since I was about 10, and I'm 51, nearly 52. So it would be quite literally pan bread with tomatoes on, and then salt and pepper. Is that a Glasgow thing? I think it was a Scottish thing. No cheese. No cheese. Cheese isn't allowed. It was basic. It was really basic. So yeah, it was tomatoes and some salt and pepper. And that's what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. And I know it's random, probably only eat half of it because I don't eat much bread. But it was quite literally just salt and pepper, just like this. So there you go. Literally salt and pepper, bread and butter, and that's it. But that led me on to something else, because you just keep remembering things today. It's the weirdest sensation when you haven't remembered stuff for 30 odd years, and all of a sudden it's like flashback after flashback after flashback. They've not all been good ones, granted, but there's more good ones than bad ones, so this is a huge positive, because I ain't been that great lately. Anyway, there we go. I've got a tomato sandwich. But what else it reminded me of was the Jelly Piece song, or the Jilly Piece song. So back in Scotland, one of the things the kids used to sing was about, I think we used to say it was 100,000 hungry wains, but it was actually only 700 looking it back. So it was all about throwing a sandwich out the tenement houses. My dad grew up in Gorbals in Glasgow. It was all about throwing a sandwich out the window to the kids that were down below. So apparently this was true. I remember all the stories of when your parents, wartime or after wartime, would actually wrap up a sandwich in paper or whatever, a bit of tape or elastic band or whatever, and literally chuck it down to the kids who are out playing in the street. So like, the song is about whether the bread is plain or pan, so it's a complete Glasgow song, and whether it's butter, cheese or jelly and the bread is plain or pan, the chances of it reaching you are 90-91. Yeah, okay, well I just went on YouTube and I found it, and it's really made me smile, and I just played it, so I'm going to link this in so you can hear the jelly piece song, because it's iconic heritage of Scotland, and it's just really special. Catherine, you'll love this. I remember you singing this when you were about 6. I remember you going to school and you were doing your tap dancing and stuff in the village hall up at Glassford, and Gran come to see you, and I seem to remember something maybe at school you singing the jelly piece song. I think you might like this, honey. Anyway, do you remember this? Tomatoes. Well, that's not a good one, is it? The tops of the tomatoes. I remember you colouring these in with black felt tip pens and putting them in Jaisla's desk, you little devil. You scared her till she screamed because she thought they were spiders. You used to hide these everywhere. You were like, oh, sod. So there you go, that's tonight's drama. Dad will like that anyway. My dad will like the jelly piece song. My dad will remember the jelly piece song. And he'll also remember tomato sandwiches. I bet you tomorrow my mum will be making my dad tomato sandwiches. Right, this is just not normal. I'm going to the dentist at the minute with chocolate cake. Who takes chocolate cake to the dentist? Oh, when I was like, I'm going to the dentist by choice now. Dentist brilliant. Anyway, when I was little, I hated the dentist so much. I used to rub all the dates of the calendar because Mum wrote them on in pencil. I hated the dentist. I absolutely hated the dentist. I was terrified of going to the dentist. I remember Dad taking me down there eventually because I had broken teeth, I had toothache. I used to hide it and roll about on the floor or try to because I was so much agony. But I was absolutely petrified. And now I realise a lot of that was probably sensory stuff. But this guy's cool. He's perfect. He's great. He's brilliant. I think world science X backside. And he's absolutely awesome. Is that really weird to take a great big slab of chocolate cake to your dentist? Like, this guy's brilliant, he really is. And I broke one the other day and he's fitting me in to try and fix it. It'll cost me a fortune, but yeah. Dad, this is Andy, the dentist. I wouldn't go to the dentist. I used to rub all the dates off the calendar. Mum would write them all on pencil. It was a wee bugger. I was terrified to go to the dentist, but I don't think it's normal to bring him chocolate cake, is it?
Yeah,
there you go.